Are you thinking about buying a home in Chicago? Well, make sure to tune in here. We are going to run through closing costs line by line so you know exactly what to expect. Now, let me move it on screen here, and we're going to run through basically page 2 of the loan estimate. If you look in on there in the bottom left, it says loan estimate. You say page 2 of 3. This has got your line items basically of all your items, right? So I'm kind of showing you here A, B, C, D, E, right? And I'm keeping to the side F, G, H, I, J. Then obviously we have our summary down there at the very bottom. So first let's talk about this A, B, C part, right? This A, B, C are super important. E is going to be very specific to Chicago, so we're going to dive more into that. First, let's look at A. Typically there's 3 line items that you could potentially see. The first one would be a lender fee. As you can see, $1,500 to $2,000 would be my estimate for any lender fee anywhere reputable. Now, they would break that down, maybe underwriting, processing, or something like that, but then you could also have points. This is where you're going to see if there are points associated with the loan. If you don't know about points, I'll link another video. We get into B. This is services you cannot shop for. That means the lender is doing all these kind of in the background with their vendors, right? So that would be appraisal. That would be condo, meaning going to the condo association, getting condo questionnaire, doing verifications, credit scores, any sort of like small miscellaneous. You do want to look at this as well. This is where they could bury some miscellaneous fees of a couple $100 without really saying anything, and it all looks kind of normal. So appraisal, typically, you know, it's going to based on the type of the home, but you're going to see something around the $500, $800 range. Condo, as I always say, is the condo association sets the fee, or the management company sets the fee, and then we're charging dollar for dollar, whatever the invoice is. Verifications, background checks, things like that, $200 to $400. Credit and any credit score updates, $50 to $250, and again, that miscellaneous you want to keep an eye on as well. So title. In Illinois, the seller's attorney is the one that will go out and find the title company. So you really don't get to shop for it, but it is a very large amount. Your attorney will review it, around $3,000 to $5,000, depending upon your purchase price. Cook County, recording fee, less than $200. I'm circling now transfer tax. I want you to tune in here. I want you to think about transfer tax here and hold this in your head. So transfer taxes is any time you're purchasing a home, not refinancing, but in the city of Chicago. Again, this is going to be one of your larger fees, so make sure and kind of tune into this. It is $7.50 for every $1,000 of purchase price, right? So $7.50 for every $1,000 of purchase price. So we can do the math and better understand exactly what that's going to be. But this could be a wide range depending if you're buying a $100,000 property or if you're buying a $1 million property, for instance. Okay, we're going to skip ahead right here because we had a little cut in there, but $7.50 per 1K. So you can see that estimate there in the top right-hand side. Moving on from there, we're getting into this F. This is prepaids. This is paying your insurance up front, first year of insurance. And then prepaid interest, that would be X amount of days till the end of the month, and you're going to have some interest that accrues. G, that initial escrow payment at closing, this is your taxes and insurance getting put aside into an escrow account. You're not necessarily required if you've got 20% or more, but that's where it's going to show. H, you're typically only going to see the attorney fee. That's between $500 and $750. And then down here at the bottom, we're going to be able to get in to see earnest money, and then seller credits, and then also a seller tax credit. So let me kind of come back in and explain here on a seller tax credit. So taxes accrue in the current year but are paid next year. So the seller is going to owe you that amount because they've lived there the entire year, but that tax bill's due in another in a year ahead of time. Again, this is specific for Cook County and Chicago. So let's say you close June 30th. Well, the seller lived there for 6 months, but that bill is going to be due in a year's time. So they're going to owe you 6 months of taxes as an adjustment or that seller tax proration credit. You're still going to put money aside into your escrow to make sure and be ready, but that's going to be a pretty significant credit that sometimes is difficult to understand. So Hopefully I explained it where they're giving you a credit for the taxes that have accrued previously, but you're going to be the new owner and the new responsible party. So if you have other questions about closing costs, want to find out more research, got a ton more videos on the topic. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, closing costs in Chicago. Cheers.